Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Mercedes-Benz is in the news as they've already confirmed that they are working on a brand new AMG hypercar using all the technologies that they have learned for their Formula One winning technologies, much like that Red Bull/Aston Martin deal. Well, now Motoring in Australia is actually reporting that there's an Australian man that's already plunked down his deposit for this machine. He's got in touch with the folks over at Mercedes-Benz and laid down his cash to be the first ever, at least publicly, to front out money for this brand new machine. It's always interesting to me when someone will buy something that they've never seen before, nor if they don't even know the specs on it. So we'll learn a whole lot more about this new hypercar, hopefully over the next several months. Ford is in the news, and for an interesting way. Actually, one of the presidential candidates has been hard on Ford's back about moving production of a pair of lines down to Mexico, claiming that all the folks here in the United States were all going to lose their jobs, which wasn't even close to being the case. The fact is, this deal's been in the works for several years. But it did force Ford to open up their books and show just what exactly they're doing here in the United States. And the big thing that they're doing is all those rumors that the Ranger was going to be built here stateside are absolutely true. They will be built here in the United States along with the new Ford Bronco. So not only the Ranger and the Bronco that are going to be built here in the United States for public consumption inside of those plants that are actually moving their existing vehicles down to Mexico will actually be sold here in the United States, that being the Bronco and the Ranger, hopefully by the year 2020 from what I'm hearing. So we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more about these developments. Next up on the list, well, you remember old Henrik Fisker here. Well, guess what? He's going to start another car company. This one called Fisker Inc., at least as of now. He's claiming that they've got a kind of a breakthrough. They've got a brand new technology that nobody's using, that nobody's done any development work as of yet, and it's going to be somewhat of a game changer. And they're jumping in with both feet, much like the Fisker Karma. They're going to build a luxury, high-performance sedan, hopefully in the next several years. So we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more about this vehicle. Well, with the Paris Motor Show going on as we speak, one of the big announcements came from the folks over Ferrari, who, the year of 2017, will be celebrating their 70th anniversary of existence on this planet. They're doing it in a big way with 70 custom liveries or paint schemes for their machines. Lots of them with real names and some real prominence. One called the Schumacher to celebrate all the championship years that Michael Schumacher had behind the wheel of a Ferrari. Also one called the Sterling after a big race win that legendary race car driver Sterling Moss had behind the wheel of a Ferrari way back in the day. Now, the trick is they're only done once per vehicle in their lineup. So meaning if you pick, let's say, the Schumacher, and you could only have one vehicle on this planet having that paint scheme as far as in any vehicle in their lineup. So one GTC 4 Lusso, one F12 Berlinetta, one 488 GTB, one 488 Spider, and one California T is all these vehicles can actually be. So chances are there'll only be 5 Schumachers in existence around the world, and only one of each of these machines. Ferrari has yet to announce what the pricing, and I'm assuming it's going to be pretty steep, especially for some of them that are going to call for a little bit more demand than others. Now, if everybody fills up all 70 of these, there'll be 350 special edition Ferraris rolling around the world and over the next several years. Another vehicle shown off at the Paris Motor Show is the folks over at Hyundai, who are developing a brand new performance brand, and it's going to be under the N moniker. The N moniker will continue on as their performance brand heading forward, and they're celebrating it with this machine. This is the RN30 concept. Now, this vehicle looks the business. Very big aero kit, big wide wheels and tire package, massive rear wing. But the thing isn't super exotic when it comes to performance. It's got a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 375 horsepower, 333 pounds-feet of torque, and then is shifted through a dual clutch transmission. Now, the vehicle isn't very exotic when it comes to the material-wise as well, because they're not using carbon fiber. They're actually using high intensity of plastic inside of this vehicle, including a lot of the body panels, which they're claiming is not as light as carbon fiber, but is way lighter than steel and very inexpensive to boot. So it's going to be interesting what to see with the in-brand heading into the future for Hyundai, but you might get a little glimpse looking at this concept. Well, on the last episode, we talked about the brand new Ford Raptor's performance numbers, and now a tuner group out of Texas, the folks over at Hennessy, are showing this off. This is the brand new Raptor Velociraptor 6x6 by the folks over at Hennessy down in Texas. Obviously, right off the bat, you notice it's got 6 wheels underneath this vehicle. A lot of modification, including 2 brand new live rear axles, all new Fox suspension on all, I guess I should say 6 corners, and all new wheels and tires on the machine. Now, the vehicle will come with a 3.5-liter twin turbocharged V6 EcoBoost, and you can get the stock version at 450 horsepower, or you can up for an extra $22,500 to making 600 horsepower. Now, Hennessy is actually taking orders as we speak. Now, not for 100% sure if this pricing is going to cost or is going to add in the cost of the new Raptor, if you're going to have to supply your own Raptor to get this deal done. But they're talking about the total price being $300,000. In fact, just a touch under $300,000. That may just be for the conversion kit itself. Next up on the list, Avenir. You may remember this name from Buick over several years ago when they did a concept piece called the Avenir. Well, apparently this is now going to be a new trim level or sub-brand inside of Buick, moving it up a notch as far as luxury-wise. Taking a little page from the folks over at GMC with their Denali brand, which the folks over at JP Morgan actually, I heard it from the folks over at Autoline.tv, but JP Morgan's actually reporting that the Denali brand, or the Denali trim level, brings in more cash than all of Land Rover put together. So the folks over at Buick want a little piece of that action, and they're going to this name Avenir, which will be a new trim level, new package inside of Buick machines heading forward. Next up on the list, well, if you're really excited about the brand new Fast and Furious film, Fast and Furious 8, that's coming out early next year. Good news, December 18th of 2016, we're going to get the first ever trailer for this. It's going to be dropped all over the internet. So if you keep checking back on the Motorcars Facebook page, I'll have it up as soon as I find it. Either that or keep looking around those old interwebs and you will find it on your own, because I'm sure it's going to be a big deal come December 18th of 2016. And last up on the list, the old Grand Tour. There's been a lot of reports that they're spending the money, and in big, big ways. In fact, the folks over at the United States taping that happened a couple of weeks ago got a real sneak peek at the new opening sequence that's going to be inside of the new program, aka their new theme song and their new opening sequence inside of the film franchise. What they're doing, and this was a big, big production. We're talking about helicopters, airplanes, acrobats, lots of performance cars, millions and millions of dollars worth of supercars, and 4 custom Mustangs with each one of the presenters inside of it, racing across the desert floor. All of this was done, and according to a lot of people in the know, in fact, the Daily Mail is reporting that 2.5 million euros was spent on this deal, aka $3.2 million. So they're spending the money, and they're spending it quite heavily. Cannot wait for November 18th for the new Grand Tour to arrive on Amazon Prime. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.